So if I help with the movement, I'm sitting low, grind the quad, and then come up again. Is you push this knee out, and then just sit into it. Oop. You see that? Okay guys, welcome to part 3 of the challenge. So this part is finally going to be a little bit of stretching because most of us aren't flexible enough, and sometimes we get into weird stances, and when your legs aren't flexible enough, your lower back takes the strain. And that's where a lot of back strains and sometimes neck strains come from, because you're trying really hard to get into something, but you're not flexible enough, and then you just start compensating with different parts of your body. And so I'm going to start this little stretching thingy, which also helps with power generation, with the Pubu or the Pubu. A lot of people, when they imagine the Pubu, so it's a stance where you go into, oh, could you see my feet? No, it's a stance where you go into from the Tai Chi form, right? So there are actually a couple ways to do this. Most people, when they do it, well, some people when they do it, when they go into the stance, if you look at my feet, can you see my feet? Yeah. Some people choose to go into it with your legs open like this. So what you're actually doing is you're just going into this kind of stance, right? You're just opening and you're going into this kind of stance. But the way I tend to do it is I cow the foot a bit. So you sit your butt into this heel. So as I'm here, I sit into this heel. Not this, but I sit into this heel. Do you see the difference? You could do both. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try both and see which one feels better for you. But I normally recommend the second one. It's actually harder, but the power you get from it is stronger. But anyways, so another thing, to do a Pubu or a Pubu, if you do it with your legs in a straight line, it's actually harder. If you do it with your legs, say like this, it's a bit easier. So if I do, say, the single whip, where the foot is already spaced out in the chunjibo, it's actually easier for me to sit into this stance and then come back up. But if I were here, it requires a bit more for me to sit and then come back up. So you could choose what you want. And remember, this is a semi-stretching session. So for now, we're gonna go into the open version. So what it involves is you push this knee out and then just sit into it. Oop. You see that? And then you come back and then you sit into this one. So the toes are pointing really far out. Sit, up, sit, and up. So you could choose to hold it like that. You could bounce any way you want. It's a stretch. So this is version 1. And then version 2, it's a bit harder. Don't force yourself. So remember, instead of leaning in like this, you're sitting your butt into here. So it might be easier if you turn your body this way slightly and sit like this. See how this is closed? And then you come back up. You sit. See how this is closed? And then you come back up. It's the same for this. So instead of opening, instead of sitting, okay, part 2 again. So getting back to the harder version, remember the first version is where your leg is further out, opening. The second is when you sit like this. The easiest way to do this is to put your leg like this first and turn your body slightly to this angle. Remember, with Pubu or Pubu, your front leg is flat on the ground. Toe up is another stretch or another position. So right now we're going to turn slightly so that your weight is on here, and then you're going to sit your butt into this and come back up. So for this side, you turn and then sit your butt into here and then come back up, as opposed to opening, sitting into here and then coming back up, right? So as a drill, I'll show you the drill next session. Just get familiar with this movement. Treat it as a bolfat and treat it as a step and a stretch. So experiment, don't go too hard. Remember to do all the other stuff beforehand before you do this, because this is a pretty deep stretch. Okay, now we've stretched a bit. I want to introduce you to... Okay, now we stretched a bit. I want to introduce you to the concept and difference between flexibility and mobility. So flexibility is when you could be really wide open, you could stretch, you could kick your foot really high. Mobility is a range in which you could control your movement. So if you could do the split say to here, but you could only actively control it up to here, then this is your mobility range, and this is your flexibility range. So what we want to do is strengthen the whole range where we're flexible at, so we're mobile at the range where we're flexible at. And this way, this is the difference between mobility and flexibility, which is why every time after some traditional gongfa stretching, there's always some strengthening movement or postures. It's very simple. You might just repeat the posture but come up and down, or you might repeat a move. So there are two ways that I use to strengthen this position or get mobile in this position. The first one is easier, but it also involves aspects of grinding the kwa, pushing from the leg, and sitting into the hip. This is, I'll use a Tai Chi movement to do it. It's sitting into Pubu or Pubu from single whip. But you don't actually always have to do this. You could do it like this too. So watch, you're gonna go from a gongbo. Oh, as I said in the last session, if your leg is in one straight line, it's a harder stretch. Remember, this is a stretching and strengthening exercise. It's not the perfect form that we're trying to do in competition or learning the martial arts style. If you put it here, it's a bit easier. So from the side, you're gonna go from a gongbu. You need your hands for bounce. You could do it like this. You could do it like this, it doesn't matter. So the movement is basically this. You're gonna come upward. I'm just demonstrating the movement. You're gonna come upward, sit low, grind the kwa, and then come up again. So if I help with the movement, I'm sitting low, grind the kwa, and then come up again. So sit low, grind, and up again. So on the other side, it's the same. You're gonna push here, come up, sit low, grind the kwa, and come up again. Sit low, grind the kwa, and come up again. So this way, you're controlling your power as you're doing this movement. So as I do this, here's another angle. So you could do it from here as a yang style, or you could just use this movement. It doesn't matter. What's important is the legs right now. You're gonna come up, you're gonna sit, and then go forward. So watch again, I'll come slowly. Come up, sit, and then try keep low as you draw that U. Grind the kwa, and then up. Breathe in, breathe out. So you could do it both sides and do this after you did the stretches earlier on. And this is version 1 of strengthening. So version 2 is quite easy too. Well, it's actually not that easy. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get into the Pubu and you're gonna come in and out of it. So you're gonna go, you're gonna balance, you could do this, doesn't matter. You could do this to balance. You're gonna sit slowly, and then come back up. So push this way, in this angle. Don't come straight up for now. So you're gonna sit low, and then push this way. Sit low, push this way. So this is different from the first one, because the first one we grind the kwa using this circle. For this one, we're just, so it's like this kind of power. So you're gonna sit low, and then come up. So it's the same. You're here, you balance, it doesn't matter what you do. You sit low, and then you come diagonally up. You see? So you sit low, you go this way, and you come diagonally up. And this is a basic gongfa for Pubu. Hey guys, so I just started Patreon. It's free for now. Go check it out. There'll be lesson highlights from Hong Kong, and later there'll be YouTube pre-releases. And as always, thank you for your support.
and follow my socials if you haven't already.